Hello, everybody. It's that bald guy, and we're here again, having a little bit of talk about our Bibles again. Today, I was wanting to talk to y'all about prayer, and I like to ask y'all a question. What do y'all think about when you think about prayer? Do you think about people getting all philosophical and talking, all fancy and stuff like that? That's what I thought, seriously. But that's not what it is. Prayer is you talking to God. And sometimes you're asking Him for something, like a lot of us do. A lot of us ask God for things, But a lot of us are just there to thank Him for everything we do have. And that's, we need to be thankful for everything, even the bad stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, we go through our days every day just trying to make it through and just, be better people every day. And things go certain ways and we don't like how it's going. We're like, why does this have to happen to me? Why am I going through all this? The reason you're going through it is because God's preparing you so you'll be grateful for whenever you do get what you need. And when I say what you need, it's not what you want, it's what you're going to need. And, he does these things to make sure He humbles you down. If you think about it, some people think you just come to God whenever you're, asking for something or, thanking Him for something. But there's plenty of times in the Bible that people come to Him angry, asking Him, why me? Why am I going through all this? And then there's some people coming to Him sad, asking Him the same question. You can come to God at any point in time. It's not a specific reason or a specific way that you have to come up and talk to Him. I want to read a verse out of the Bible to y'all talking about that, actually. So we're going to be looking at John 6:37. And it says here, all that my Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. And what that's saying is that regardless, a lot of people think if, people talk about it sometimes, what if I just go to God because I'm scared of going to hell? Well, maybe God was using that fear of you going to hell to come to Him. God uses everything about us to be able to get us to come to Him. Either it be faith, fear, but it's His plan. And it might be something negative that's making you come to Him. It's, the fear of going to hell. But that fear is bringing you to Him. And that's what that verse is saying. Come unto me, and I will not cast you out. That means He doesn't care why you came to Him, but you came to Him. You asked for Him to be in your life. It's like we talked about last time. You have to be the one to ask Him to come to you, because He's not going to come without you asking. It's something that you got to want. And regardless of the reason being of why you came to Him, you came to Him. I came to God. Like I talked about last time, I came to Him because everything I was going through, financial troubles, stress of daily life had gotten to me and it was bringing me down so hard. And I finally just said, you know what? I can't do it. So I said, God, come and take this from me. Direct me in the way I need to go. That's what He done. I came to Him under duress that I couldn't handle it. But I knew who could. He could. So that's why I came to Him. That's why I asked Him to, help me and show me where I need to go. And this is where He's been directing me so far. But you have to be, like I said last time, you have to be 100% in. And you're going to have backslides. You're going to have setbacks, days that you just feel like you just given everything you can and you just can't give any more and you just feel like you haven't got anything back. But if you sit back and think about the bigger picture, Think about the things that you go through on a day-to-day basis. You know, I feel like there's a lot of times I don't get what I need. You know, I'm asking for, you know, to show me the way and everything, but, you know, I've had better time with dealing with things, but it's not gotten perfect. It's not going to be perfect. I had to have some kind of, you know, trials for myself. You know, I still got to be able to prove that my faith is strong enough to believe that God's still going to be there regardless of what I'm going through. Is he still going to be there? And he is. It might not seem like it, but he's there. He's there in his own way. And he's making you go through whatever you need to go through. You know, the reason I brought that up is because, you know, you might not be getting something for yourself, but you might have been put in a position to where you were there for someone that needed you to be there that day. You were there because somebody needed you to send them on the right path. They were having a terrible day. They, you know, somebody, you know, crawled all over them, you know, gave them, you know, yelled at them, screamed at them, cussed at them, whatever. But they ran into you and you just told them, you know, you could tell something was up with them. Something was wrong with them. And you were there to give them encouragement. You know, you said, you know, can I pray for you? There was this time I was at Cracker Barrel. I'm not going to say the girl's name, but she was, I was door dashing. And I had walked in there to pick up a DoorDash. And she was just crying. Sitting there crying and just upset about, you know, shaking. Like, she was really upset. She was having a really bad day. And I hadn't had a really good day either. You know, I was out trying to work, make some money. But I seen that girl, and I could feel in my heart, I was like, I want to talk to her. See if there's anything, you know, anything I could do for her. I asked her if she was okay, and she said, I'm just having a really bad day. It's just nothing's gone right. And it was somebody, you know, they were just, you know, it was just a really bad time, and they were sitting in a chair up front, and I put my hand on her shoulder and I asked her if that was okay. And she said, yeah. And I was like, can I ask you something? Can I pray for you? And she said I could. And I had a little prayer for her, you know, I asked God to help her through all the things that she was going through that day or the time. And I said, I don't know what her circumstances is, but God, you do. And whatever she's going through, please help her find the strength to get through it. And I'll tell you what, that girl stopped shaking. She started drying up her tears. And it's like she started feeling better. Because I was there, and, you know, to help her, you know, to show her that somebody was, you know, able to help her. And it wasn't nobody here. It was God. He was there to help her. But she just needed reminded who was there and who was always going to be there. So if you're ever going through it and you feel like your prayers are not being answered, your prayers are being heard. They're going to be answered in his time. But he's going to put you where you need to be at, and make sure you're showing people that you are here for your fellow man, your fellow woman. Make sure you're here for each other. And your blessings will come. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but when it is needed, God is going to bring you your blessings. He's not going to, like it said in here, he's not going to cast you out. You might not have found God yet. I hope you do. If you ever need to, you know, ask somebody what it's like to be on a path that you feel like you're not somebody that God wants, talk to me. You don't have to do it in the comments. You can message me. You can talk to me. I'll talk to you. We'll get through this together. Just like we're supposed to. We're supposed to help each other. You're supposed to be around with your like-minded people. And, you know, you might not be the like-minded person like me. You might not think like I do, but you could be. But it just depends on where your heart is. You have to have your heart in the right spot. So even if you don't usually pray, and what I've sat here and talked about right now, take a moment. I want you to sit there and I want you to just be like talking to somebody that's sitting right across from you. Don't use the fancy words. You don't have to have those. You can talk to him like he is sitting right in front of you, and you just ask him, God, I need you to be there for me. I need you to take part of my life and guide me in the way that I need to go. And I guarantee you, if you are sincere about wanting to change your life, he will do it. He will show you the direction to go to get where you need to be at. A lot of people just see me as that bald guy door dashing, and occasionally doing Bible verses and talking about Jesus and my experiences with religion. But there's a lot more to me than there used to be, and a lot of that's gone now because of what the commitment I've made, the changes I've made in my life, and I couldn't be happier. I know that everything that happens in my life or people's lives that are around me is because it's supposed to be that way. And it might be a test, it might be just getting you where you need to be at, but that's the way it's supposed to be. But guys, I ain't going to hold y'all up too long. I appreciate y'all. If you came in and watched this video, I appreciate y'all watching it. But as always, do me a favor. Let's grow this community up. I would like for y'all to leave a comment if you want. If you're on TikTok, follow, YouTube, subscribe. Don't cost you a thing to subscribe to these videos. It takes 2 seconds. I know I've had a lot of views on YouTube here lately, and it's like, got all these views, but nobody's hitting that subscribe button. That's fine. Do what you will. But if you have time, do that subscribe button for me. But anyway, guys, that's all the time we've got for today. I'm going to hop off here and get some stuff done. So, y'all have a great night. And like I always say, everybody, God loves you. I love you. See you later.